Well, good morning everyone, thanks so much for coming. My name's Kenneth Bannerman, I'm the founder of the Airfields of Britain Conservation Trust, which is the world's first national airfield charity. We also call ourselves for short by our initials ABCT, so if you type those letters on Google for example, you will find our 3,500 pages website, which is proving very popular extremely easily. Well, we're delighted to be here today to unveil yet another of our full-size memorials, in this case to Matching Airfield and all the very brave and dedicated people who served here, and not forgetting their families as well. This was an airfield built mid-war during World War II, and it originally opened in September 1943. The initial idea was to use it by Bomber Command, but then it was quickly transferred to American use. And in the early part of 1944, the United States Army Air Force's 391st Bomb Group arrived here, flying Martin B-26 Marauder medium bombers. This was a somewhat controversial aircraft at the time that had a bit of a reputation, let's say, but it actually turned out to be an extremely good aircraft. In fact, one of the best medium bombers on any side during World War II. So the 391st and its associated individual squadrons proved very active from here, bombing numerous tactical targets in occupied Europe, was particularly busy on D-Day itself, and then carried on here at Matching until it moved to a French airfield in the late summer of 1944. After that, there was a little bit of a hiatus as to what to do with Matching, but it was then taken over in February 1945 by RAF Transport Command, and the main user thereafter for much of the rest of the year was one of these more less obvious, if not sadly maybe even forgotten units, called the Operational Refresher and Training Unit, or ORTU for short. And this was a more specialised training unit whereby it kept transport and paratroop unit crews, air crews, active pending actual operational service. So although it was a training unit, it was at least partly operational, and very notably, when it came to Operation Varsity, the massive airborne assault over the River Rhine in March 1945, the ORTU, with its mixture of Halifax and Stirling transports and towing Horsa gliders as well, they provided around 20 air crews and towing elements to help with that particular operation, which proved very successful. So the ORTU carried on here until October 1945, when it moved to Wethersfield here in Essex. That's been very much in the news of late. That airfield is under really severe threat, as no doubt many of you will already know. So the ORTU moved to Wethersfield, and then there was also a smaller, but again in its own way, very important unit called number 1677 Target Towing Flight, and they flew Miles Martinet's single engine aircraft, quite famous at the time. They at the same time moved to Wethersfield as well. And Eventually, Matching closed in August 1946, not as some people understandably may think at the end of 1945. This is all part of the deep level research we do with the charity, looking through organisation records. In the run up to the closure, without going through that whole tale, Coastal Command at one point was thinking of taking over in early 1946, Matching instead of Beccles, or as we call it, the second Beccles airfield, which has been partly revived for flying now. So there were all these plans that came to naught. Matching closed, as I've said, in August 1946, and then the land was, by the government of the day, announced to be given up, along with places like Chipping Ongar, in 1955. And as you'll no doubt be aware, since that broad period of time, a lot of the airfield has disappeared, the runways. You still get the control tower. I mean, I've been coming on and off to Matching since certainly the 1980s. So I can remember, for example, when there was a radar scanner actually on top of the control tower that's still there. And but although there might not be that much left of the airfield today, this place is still phenomenally important on so many levels, not just historically in terms of its achievement and so on, but also socially. And so as we say in our travels, we just can't afford to lose places like Matching, and indeed our airfields in general, regardless of whether we are active, the airfields are active or disused. You know, these places our airfields are tremendous forces for good. But very sadly that ever since really they first emerged in the UK over 100 years ago, a lot of people have just casually disregarded them. So all we just say in our travels is that within reason, just do all you reasonably can to help save our airfields, protect and honour them, and not forgetting as well all the very brave people, our American friends in the RAF, and not forgetting their families. That's what they deserve at the very least, just some proper recognition and respect after everything they've done. Matching has won a war, saved lives, helped people, revolutionised everyday society for the betterment of all. So it deserves some kind of nice payback, one could say, in terms of just after everything it's done for all of us. So again, thank you very much for your time, and I, on behalf of the charity, I'm now delighted to unveil what is now ABCT's 205th memorial. We've got hundreds more lined up in years to come. We're going as fast as we can with this, to yet another of Britain's absolutely priceless and irreplaceable assets, in this case the one and only Matching Airfield. Thank you all very much.
Handshake.